On this episode, we travel in northern Indiana to buy quite possibly the cheapest second-gen Cummins truck in existence. I got one picture of it sent to me, and I said, cool, what do you want for it? They gave me a price. I said, does it even run? I said, yeah. I said, so does it move? They said, yeah. Well, it drives around our lot. Okay. So I bum a ride with a friend up there this morning on his way to work so I can drive this pile home. Once I'm there, one mechanic says, hey, that truck's got a brand new transmission in it. Cool. Next mechanic comes in the room and says, hey, that truck needs a transmission. Awesome. It means I bummed a ride. I didn't bring any tools, which turns out to be a horrible idea. So I had absolutely no intentions on making a video out of this, but at this point, I feel like it's video worthy. Just picked up this second gen Dodge Cummins truck. Low miles, 110, I think it said, 110,000. Two-wheel drive, 3/4 ton. Lowest mile Cummins truck I've ever owned in my life. Also the most rotten Cummins truck I've ever owned in my life. I've made it 2 miles. Truck was thought to run and drive. No fault to the seller. They just told me they believed they'd make it home fine. And, well, so far that's not the case. The driver's door when I got there didn't latch. So I'd take the door apart, and I should have started recording this from the beginning. The driver's door didn't latch. Somebody had been in it before and had the handles all messed up, everything. So it latches, but the latch is about ripped out of the door. So I make it 2 miles down the road. Brake caliper's hanging up. Not a big deal. Been down that road before. We've got our brake caliper rebuild kit that came with the truck. And we've had to rebuild it 3 times now, and it has not it's not been cooperating. And while doing so, the passenger door stopped latching. So half a can of PB Blaster later, a few whacks with the brake caliper rebuild tool, and it started latching again. So we're not opening that door no more unless we absolutely have to. So now we are roughly an hour into our journey home and have made it about 3 miles. I will keep you guys updated as this goes. This shouldn't have been video, but at this point I feel like I'd be silly not to video it and share my misery. So we successfully drove basically across Fort Wayne without hitting the brakes at all. Made it to Markle, Indiana, and had to stop and drain some fluids, okay? And the key no longer does key things. Oh, there it goes. I have been trying to get that freaking ignition to turn for like 10 minutes now. I don't know what's up with that, but maybe we won't shut it off no more. Oh, good times. I forgot what I was doing. I wanted to turn the wheels. So I could rebuild the caliper again, because I did use them to stop here, pulling into the parking spot. So Now I'm debating on whether to turn this off and rebuild that caliper. And the reason I want to turn it off is because I'm sitting there running, it constantly is draining the rust and the dirt out of the rocker panel right where your head's at when you're underneath it. So if you shut it off, you only get that drainage when you hit the caliper with the tire iron. So, but when it sits there and runs, it's constantly vibrating enough that it's draining the dirt and the rust out of that rocker panel. So now I gotta make up my mind whether I'm just gonna try it or do I shut it off. I don't know. Or do I just try driving it without rebuilding it again? I think we'll try driving it without rebuilding it again. If it doesn't make it, we'll stop and rebuild it on the side of the road again. Call me crazy, but I think it's peaceful hitting the back roads that you never travel. Even if it isn't a jalopy that doesn't have doors that latch, that the heat's stuck on, that doesn't have properly working brakes, it's fun. It's way more peaceful than that city life of constant traffic and people everywhere. I just drove past something that I felt was worthy of turning around and driving back by so I could share it with you guys. Looks like a pretty neat little time capsule of a farm. I don't know how I would ever go about finding out who owns this stuff, but man, I would love to check out this property. It doesn't look like anything has moved off that property for decades. I seen a couple 5-window Chevys, about a 53 Ford International truck, looked like a 60s truck in the back corner. That lot was about 20 acres and it looked like it was full. I'd love to get in there and check that place out. Stopped at a garage sale to see if they had a hammer to go along with my brake caliper rebuild kit, and I forgot about the ignition. Oh, there it goes. I just spotted another old car. Not sure what this one is. I spotted it from a little ways away. Looks like it's out of the 50s. Maybe a Dodge. Looks like about a 53 Cornet. Once again, completely abandoned place that be damn near impossible to find the owners of, but Pretty sure that was a 50s cornet, and if that is in fact what it is, some of those cars had the small Hemi in it. The likelihood of that being one is pretty slim, but it's a possibility. This is why I love hitting these back roads, because you never know what you're going to find, and possibly, you know, get bought. I would guess this cornet, if that's what it is pretty well rotten, but it would be pretty cool if it did have a Hemi. I turned around. I'm going back by a little bit slower this go around. Yeah. I think it's safe to say nobody visits this property. Well, vandals. It's a two-door even. I'm pretty confident that's a cornet. I don't know how I would go about finding the owner though. Well, 100 miles or so later, finally made it home. Not too bad of a drive, really. Had the brake caliper hanging up. That was really the only mechanical issue, I guess. Could have been a lot worse. The door's not working, the heat being stuck on, just minor inconveniences. So I did finally get both the doors to latch and stay latched. I think it's just from sitting. The latch mechanism in them is all gummed up. So, but I enjoyed the long drive home. Get off the highway, see the back roads, especially back roads you don't see all the time. You know, we've seen that one farm that had all the trucks and stuff. I am going to try to find the owner of that. And then that Dodge Cornet, or I believe it's a Dodge Cornet, I am going to try to find the owner of that one as well. So, possible videos in the works, who knows? But the reason we bought this truck is for the motor training. That's really all there is to it. I am going to use it on a couple of revivals coming up as a parts runner, whatever you want to call it, and keep it around long enough to do that. But I have that 60 Chevy, that teal one from Kansas, that I plan on building, and this drivetrain is going to go in that. So stay tuned for those videos. I did do a will it run video on that truck previously. I'll try to put that link in the description. You guys can go check that out. Super, super clean truck. It's a little beat up. It's got the windshield knocked out of it, but it currently has the stock 6-cylinder in it. We're going to pull that out. We're going to change the engine cradle over to a square body one, that so we can have disc brakes and a little bit better suspension and stuff. Get rid of that torsion bar suspension. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you would, and stay tuned for more goofiness and videos of the chaos that my life is.